Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're in the world. I hope you're doing well. We're going to get going now. Everyone's kind of trickled in. We had some technical difficulties yesterday, and by technical difficulties, I am referring to at 9:14 when I go live at 9:15, somebody from my internet company disconnected. They disconnected my internet, and they're doing the entire neighborhood. So we couldn't trade yesterday, and I couldn't do the live, unfortunately. But we're back today. And just a reminder that I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Please feel free to read this. Good morning, everybody. Looks like, I don't know who's in here right now, but Bed, Stewart, Blue, good morning to you, and let's get going. So I'm going to start out. Looks like we got that there. Can everybody hear me okay? Can everybody see me okay? I don't want any more technical difficulties. Type 1 if you can hear me. Okay, good deal. So, Monday, opening range. We had a breakout day. They closed in breakout. This is the NASDAQ. And we've been going up for a while now. All right, we've got at least 3-4 weeks of we've been going up. I'm not saying that I think it's going to reverse. All I'm saying is that we've been going up for 3 or 4 weeks. So we're extended a little bit. Starting last week, we had 3 days breakouts. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days into this week. And then we triggered previous day's low, which could be a lower low. And then now we're sitting where we're sitting. So we have a peak high, we have a peak low, which could be a lower low, and then we come into today, and also this could be considered a first red day. So we've got a couple things to think about. Number one, we got a peak high, high of week. We have a peak low, low of week. So we've got peak formation high, peak formation low, consolidation in the middle. Are we looking for an expansion of the box? Are we going vertical from inside back to one extreme or the other? First red day, we've got the lower low and the pop-up. Maybe we've gone up 3 levels of rise. Maybe not. Let's take a look. Okay, so at least 3 levels, right? Even if let's see if we use a 50 pip box. Maybe not. All right, let's go back. We're going to skip those ads since we literally just started. I don't know why they're trying to insert those in there. So with the first red day, of course, looking and seeing, are we making higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs on the day to help me decide whether or not I will be executing. So we've got higher highs and higher lows. They've dropped it down now on a 5-minute chart and made this lower low, and I'm basing this off of higher high. So this would be your higher high here. I know this is a higher high because they've broken this high over here. They've pulled back in 1 bar, minimum of 2 bars. They've got 3 bars going down, and then they've closed higher than this level, so that makes this my low. Oh my goodness. There we go. So we've got the lower low now. And then I don't think that they have gone any lower. No. They've gone lower. They pulled back. They retested the low. 1, 2, 3 without going any lower. And then, according to this, there's news at 10, existing home sales. On Forex Factory, I didn't see any news. So they're doing it again, whether it's kind of back and forth. All right, so we'll see. US 30. This is another one that's been going up. End of last week, had a first red day. Put this up here like this. And then we had an inside day on Tuesday. So first red and then inside, so a part of the template. And then on Tuesday, we had a basically kind of like a first green where we've gone down first red inside, dumped it down into the low, first green, and then we've continued to break out towards the upside and going back up towards, I think, the high of the month. The beginning of the month, July 3rd, we've been over here. So maybe going back for the money. Okay, and from this, we've gone back to the high of the week, blah, blah, blah. All right, we're broken out of previous day's levels, and we're up here now at the high of the day. Do I think that this has set up potential? Would I be willing to take anything? Probably not. They've broken out. They've already retested the previous day's high. We've continued making higher highs and higher lows. We're at the high of the day, sure. I wouldn't mind maybe just continuing to look at it. We have broken and made slightly lower lows down over here, but probably nothing that I would overall be willing to take. Elite, when I get a signal day, or am I, wait, hold on. Elite said, when I get a signal day or setup, am I supposed to consider the current day's market structure or the overall one? I use both, Elite. So whenever, like this, for example, we get this break to the low, and this would be very easy for me to say this is a lower low. And it is. We've got higher highs, and then they broke, and they made this lower low. On the day, though, I still am going to consider structure because you could have an overall market that's making lower lows and lower highs, but the current day is making higher highs and higher lows because of the fractal nature of markets, right? We've got a higher time frame doing this, but on a lower time frame, you could have a whole downtrend, and it's just a pullback for the overall market. So to keep things from being complicated, I just look at previous day's levels to help me build the signals and the setups like you said, and then I use the current day to confirm. And that just keeps it as simple as I can. Current day to confirm, overall market for looking for signals and setups. Okay, gold. So far, NASDAQ is winning as far as do I think it has setup potential. Okay. I think it's quite interesting. We're coming into the New York Open. I would even be willing to base this off of peak formation high, peak formation low. This is a first red day. The only problem is if I was to do this, I would have to say, well, this is a first red day trap, and I'd have to be taking it from this level or from this level. And we're not there. So I don't know if I can do that. Let's go to gold. Now, gold has had 3 days of breakouts. We triggered previous day's low down here on Thursday. They've gone up. 1 day of longs triggered in the market. 2 days of longs triggered in the market. And also the first day of breakouts. Third day of longs triggered into the market. Second day of breakouts. And then we triggered in longs at the high of the day in Asia, which is good. And then it seems that we've broken down. We've been making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, and then we do still have the breakout level and the opening, essentially the opening range high. All right, yesterday was an opening range breakout, but maybe we're coming back for the money. 3 days of breakouts, lower low, back down on the inside of the current week's range. Maybe we're going to see some low-hanging fruit. I don't know. We'll see if the tree is plentiful. If not, we will just keep going. Okay, Russell. Okay, Russell was another first green day. We've got 2 days of down close day. Similar to the US 30, except Monday wasn't an inside day, whereas this was an inside day. The Russell actually closed in breakout down on Monday, and then Tuesday failed to go lower and was a first green. So we've got a first red, in an up moving market. Then we get this breakout day one. Why is it not? There we go. So we got breakout day one on Monday, which is good. Possibly looking for a trend trade on Tuesday, except we get a first green instead. Market starts making higher highs and higher lows. And then now today, we've got a breakout in the other direction, going back towards, is it the high of the, let's see, high of the month? Is it high of the week? Yeah, we're going back kind of up towards high of the current month again, which was back over here on the 10th. And it looks like maybe we didn't quite get up there. Big burst, 1, 2, 3. We've got 2 minutes to the open. Let me hurry up and look at oil. Okay, I'm going to answer your question here in a second, Elite. I just want to get this finished up. We had a first red on oil on Friday. Breakout day one on Monday. Second day of shorts triggered into the market on Tuesday. Today's the third day of shorts being triggered into the market. And I think that we're hovering just above previous week's low. Have we triggered anything else? No, we have not triggered any levels on oil. We have only been on the inside of previous week's high and low and trading back down towards the previous week's low. So today we've got 3 days of shorts triggered in. That is interesting, isn't it? I think I'd like to watch oil. I think the NASDAQ would be a good one to watch. First red day, peak formation low, peak formation high, possible lower low. I need to watch and see how this continues to develop. 9:30, there's the open. I want to see this breakout fake out bar turn into a trap. All right, things are looking okay. Let's go. I don't even have my other screen set up, which is extremely unfortunate. Okay, Elite, you said, why would you not consider this as a trend day by using 3 pushes out of the opening range on gold? There's no way that, so 3 pushes outside of the opening range on gold. Today's only Wednesday. It's not possible. Monday's the opening range. Tuesday is the first day of the week. Today's the second day of the week. Really the third, but 2 days outside of the opening range, we'd have 1 day. Thursday is the first day that you could have 3 pushes out of the opening range. It could be a trend day. But we're at the high. We've started making lower lows and lower highs, so that's the setup that I would be forced to look for. What have I just done? I closed it. Oh my gosh. Closed it. Right. All right, can everybody still hear me okay? Yes. All right, I fixed it. Good. I got the mic a little closer to my face too, so that way I don't have to yell, and also so that people can hear me, because that is a very common thing where people can't hear me. Ahmed, finally. Good morning. Good morning to you. Came in here. Finally. We got NASDAQ top left. Goodness gracious, what happened? All right. Yeah, so that's a really big down closed bar. That's going to really screw up my ability to get in. And they've opened it and then put it all the way down here. It could be a death candle. We might have volume trapped. Or it could be a trap into the close. But we're going to have to see. You fixed your mic. Yeah, I know. Every time I feel like I'm plagued. I'm cursed. With when it comes to like technology and going public and using technology, every single time it feels like there's something that goes wrong. I don't ever have problem. By the way, I just want to let you all know, I don't ever have technological issues when I'm not on a live stream, when I'm not doing something with YouTube or something that's public, right? I never have any problems. It's only when I am in front of all of you that everything stops working. When I'm sitting here trading by myself, nothing ever happens. I'm like, everything's just kind of smooth. All right, we're 4 minutes into the open. We've got 1 minute left on this 5-minute bar. I'm very interested in the NASDAQ, but my risk would have to be very large. My risk to reward would have to be very small. And I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I think it's worth waiting. It's worth me just waiting a second. Sit here, sip my coffee. Give it a few seconds. I have no orders in. I have not entered anything. Okay, gold kind of feels like it's left the station. Trust me, it's 1,000% better sound now. Yeah, I put it right in front of my mouth, so hopefully it's soaking up all that audio. Good morning. How many types of signal days do you consider altogether? Let's see. We got first red, first green, which I guess you could consider as one, just in opposite directions. 3 days of breakouts, inside bars, periods, basically periods of contraction leading to periods of expansion. First red, first green, 3 days breakouts, inside. Breakout day one's really a good signal. Yeah, it's like 4. So those are like good signals, right? But then you have the levels too. So you have setups that are based off of we're at the high of current week, we're at the low of current week. And then if we get a signal from those levels, it feeds into it. Okay, we've broken down, we've broken out. We're going sideways for a bar. I'd like to see, this is what I'm going to look for. This is what I'm going to wait for. We've broken down, we've broken out. We've got a bar going sideways. This is a big wick. We'll call it a rejection wick. I don't really care about that. What I do care about is that if this bar goes sideways and then we get a follow-through bar, we might still get the move. Or they immediately take it away and start going this way, and I know that I'm wrong. Because this would be a massive trap of the shorts, and I would not execute anything. I would sit here and you all can point fingers and laugh and be like, ha ha, this guy was wrong. And we can all just chuckle together. But I hope that the next bar, so I'm waiting that we got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on this bar. This is ideal. This is what I like to see before I can get in, because what I can do with this is more closely identify my risk, right? If I sell the break of this bar, then I can put my stops in a more objective place. Whereas if I were to get in on this bar, I'd have to put them all the way up here. I don't want to do that. That's too big. It's too much. I'm already chuckling. Oh, gosh. Pound dollars lifting off. Yeah, I tell you what. I've been investing on the side, more long-term stuff. And I discovered GoPro not too long ago. And I got in at around 70 cents. And it's there's a few stocks. So there's a lot of things that have been going vertical to the upside, which is nice. Let's see. Cam, I did the webinar with you a few months ago, and my trading is going really good. Thank you. That is fantastic. I love to hear that. And I constantly have people that have done the webinar saying the same thing, and that's really good. I don't have very many repeat customers, and I love that. Do you not consider reversals as a signal? Well, define what a reversal is, Ahmed. Failed breakout at the high of the week? Failed breakout at the low of the week? Did it turn into a first green or a first red day? That could be considered a reversal. Yeah. Yeah. So if you get a failed breakout at the high or the low of the current week, was that just a structural break, or was it actually the was it the first red or first green day signal that I can look for a trade the next day? Okay, so sitting on my hands and waiting is looking like it is beneficial. When will there be another webinar? I need one. I've stopped doing them. I stopped doing them. I enjoyed doing them for quite some time. And now I'm enjoying just doing these YouTube live streams. And I think that I'm enjoying these just as much as I was enjoying the webinar. And the YouTube lives are a much smaller time commitment. Okay, we've got 2 minutes and 56 seconds left on this bar. I am short on the NASDAQ. Do I think that it's going to play out? I have no idea. It's making lower lows and lower highs. It's broken down. It's gone sideways for a bar and followed through, so I've entered the market. What it needs to do, though, is flush the low of the bar and break out and continue to go lower. Or else this really could just be a trap. One minute and 30 seconds left on the bar. And I have entered prior to the bar closing, which means I get in a little bit smaller and I look to add in. $50 seconds left on the bar. I want to see a strong down close bar. That'd be nice. Okay, this is looking decent. Not saying it's good. I'm just saying that it's doing what we would want to see. Okay, so I've now added into my position. I have just removed a portion of my position. And I'm now going to hold for previous day's low. I'm also going to go to break even. I'm not holding for all the way at previous day's low. I'm actually holding for about 50 points for my initial entry, but it's close to the previous day's low. I am at break even plus 4 points. I am currently up an insane amount of money. It's beginning to hurt to hold this. I can feel it. That wick. So that wick is making me nervous because it seems like maybe they could be wick, moving down through the wick. Like they tend to do at times. We're just hovering right at my take profit, which is about 50 points. No matter what, this is already going to be a really good day. Is 50 pips and 50 ticks the same thing? No. No. Okay, I'm out of this thing. Yeah. So 50 ticks. I don't remember how many points are in a, or how many ticks are in a point, if I'm being honest. But there's a lot of ticks in 50 points. I think it's like 200 plus. Hold on. Yeah. So 50 points is about 200 ticks. Yeah. Tick value for each is a little bit different. Yeah, it really depends on what you're trading. Whatever you can just Google. A lot of times you'll be able to Google, or if you'd like to go on to, just paper trade one of the futures contracts and kind of see. What do you think of CAD? This was a great trade, by the way. I'm out of this thing. We got the news in 10 minutes. It was over and done with very quickly. Luckily, I had closed portions down over here and it ended up getting stopped out for the rest. They were just sitting here hovering above my take profit, right? So I did exactly what I said to you all. We've broken down. We've gone sideways for a bar. If they show signs of follow through by breaking this bar's low and going lower, I'm going to get in. And I did. Holy cow, the US 30. Who said that? Who said that? I am selling US 30. Nelly. Well, I think that you might have done something decent there. I could be wrong. Who knows if it's going to keep going, but if you sold it when you said you did, that's a pretty good strong move down right off the rip. CAD has gone vertical. Why? Let's see. UCAD. Oh my gosh. Is there anything that would have allowed us to execute this? Big move up. First red inside. First red continuation breakout day one. Breakout day one trade. Trend continuation. Day two, day three of shorts in the market. But really no higher high, I don't think that. Let's see. Actually, yeah, so the higher high was right here. A very shallow pullback. The only thing with this is I would be taking the trade from the outside, and my target is always the previous day's low in this case. So this would have to be a low of week reversal, but I take these low of week reversals back to this level so that I can't take anything up here. And that's my thoughts. This looks really clean, though, by the way. I don't know. Now that it started to really follow through, and I was looking at it before, too, especially when I noticed this, when I pulled these up, had gone up, and then they came back down like this. This looked really good. It's nice to see that it has followed through. Well, we made up for yesterday's stream with, hey, oil's doing good things too. 3 days of breakouts. Was talking about, hey, maybe this is possibly a trend trade because we're making lower lows. They've traded the previous day's low. They haven't made any higher highs. They've popped back up 1, 2, 3. Dang. Well, we went live at 9:15. Nelly. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you saw. Oh wait, that was the high of last week, not the high of the month. Oh, so you saw this. You saw this happen, Nelly. Basically, the rejection of the previous. Oh no, it was up here, wasn't it? Excuse me. There we go. High of previous week. Well, even there. I mean, we're at the high of the previous week. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. Went live 9:15. Executed a trade by, what was it, 9:30, 9:45? And then out of the trade in 10 minutes. And now, the more important part of the day begins, which is, what kind of workout am I going to do? I have to squat, and I think it's back. I look silver for a breakout continuation trade if it breaks the high of the day. However, I'll wait for after the news. Yeah, we got 6 minutes on this news. Let's go take a look. You're talking about silver. Ooh. Okay, so with silver, it's quite choppy now, right? It could be coiling for an explosive move. It's got 3 days breakouts in one direction. Does not mean that it can't continue to go higher by any means. But the simple part of this is you're in an up moving market. Would I be willing to take the trend trade with 3 days of breakouts in the upwards direction? Probably not, personally. Would I be waiting for it to give me a first red day or, something along those lines? Yes. Would I be waiting after 3 days of breakouts for a lower low back down to the inside of the week's range and a pullback and a trend trade? Yes. But currently, I don't think I could. Let's see. Very questionable close higher. Pretty solid break to the low, though. Maybe a lower low, possibly. Could break down. Maybe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have already taken my trade for the day. I'm not going to execute anything else. So it would be silly for me to sit here with you all and just watch the candles bob up and down. So I'll be back tomorrow, same time, ready to trade. This week is exceeding expectations so far. As far as I thought it was going to be a kind of a trash week because there's not a lot of news on the calendar, but so far they've been moving this thing off of little to no news. So I'll see you all tomorrow, same time, 9:15 a.m. Eastern time, ready to go, ready to trade. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Make sure you're getting away from the computer. Get a little exercise in there, I'm going to go get my calories in and get my workout in, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.